Hello, and welcome back to The Fool and the Philosopher.
The Philosopher and the Fool.
So just jump right into it, I guess. No special guests or any special announcements to make, so yeah, just jump right back into it. So last time we were discussing blackmail right at the end, and I was listening back to it, and I was thinking...
You weren't picking up what I was laying down?
I'm not sure if I was or not. I think I was answering some questions about blackmail, but I'm not sure if they were your questions, or... I found a whole new area to explore along blackmail anyways. I left my notes downstairs, so I'm going to just wing it.
Okay.
So basically, recap of last time, or if you didn't listen, you asked why does blackmail work? Or hostage situations in particular.
Yeah.
Because you could just say, sure, go ahead, shoot the person, and then they've lost all their bargaining power.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk about the mathematical side of that, which I think is interesting. I'm using an example from a police movie, which I won't name. I think it's fairly common in police movies, this situation, and I don't want to spoil one in particular. So there's often, I imagine,
Probably.
a situation where a police officer will be taken hostage by a villain, and the other agent wants to capture the villain, but they also don't want their partner to die, of course. So what happens is the second agent that isn't held hostage will shoot the first agent in the leg, and then the hostage taker will drop them and run away because they're too injured and they don't work as a...
Yeah, they slow them down now.
Yeah, so it would just slow them down, so they drop them. So I wanted to... And so that was sort of your idea, I guess, of if that works, then why take the hostage at all? Because they're not effective. So, and I said last time the reason the hostage works is because if they don't want the person that's being taken hostage to die.
Yes.
So in that situation, this is a bit of game theory, which if you've taken someone hostage and the police officer shoots them in the leg, so they're going to slow you down.
Yeah.
You should kill them and then run away. And
Okay.
the reason for it is threats only work if every time it's possible to carry them out, they are carried out no matter what. So if you go around blackmailing people and they say, sure, go ahead, do it, you have to do it. You can't be like, oh, well, never mind. Or if you rob someone and they say...
You have to shoot me to get the money off my corpse.
Then you have to shoot them. And the reason for this is threats don't become effective if they have another alternative. So if you make it so that 100% of the time threats are carried out on, then threats are 100% effective. Which is... so there's a Scottish family called the Campbells, and they had guests over, and you know the story, of course, but they had guests over, and they killed them in their sleep after they had eaten and slept under the same shelter. To this day, people of Scottish descent will not deal with the Campbells to varying degrees. My grandma would buy Campbell's soup. My mum thinks it's silly. But if you want a threat to be effective and for a curse to be on a family name for all time, then you have to follow through with it. Otherwise, the next clan that comes along will just think, oh, the Campbells got away with it after a couple hundred years, so we can do it. So that's you always have to...
I think we might be beyond the point.
If you make a statement, you have to fully commit to it, I guess, basically.
I think we might be beyond the point, though, of needing to have the sacred trust is now established by society and law, and it's much more regulated. Yeah. So there's more of the thing, which is maybe we can forgive the Campbells now, but let's say...
But then we can no longer curse people.
But we have the precedent of law now, which is set that if you kill someone sleeping under a roof, then you're in trouble with the actual law instead of the sacred trust.
Yeah, but the whole sacred trust thing is gone then if you can't curse someone's name forever. And so when you're asking how do hostage situations work, the movie ones, if that's what happens in reality, make it so it doesn't work because the hostage takers haven't been doing the math properly, and they should be shooting their hostages if any altercations happen, no matter what. They should make it their duty to kill their hostage if they want the threat to be effective. So, or if someone holds you at gunpoint and you don't give them what they want, you have to shoot them. I think this sounds familiar. Did we discuss this?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
In Artemis Fowl, it's an old book, so still kind of spoilery though, but they have to deal with the Russian mob who takes hostage, and that's a different type of hostage taking. Because I was thinking about hostage taking, which is you take the person to escape or whatnot. But there's also the movie Holding Hostage or whatnot, I guess, where you're holding up a building and you have a demands. Or this thing where you kidnap someone and hold them as a hostage.
So how's it different in Artemis Fowl?
How's it different? Well, I was thinking of the category of hostage holding, which is basically you're using the person as a means of escape. So, I guess what I'm getting at is if they do give you the thing, should you not kill the hostage?
Definitely.
Because in Artemis Fowl, the Russian mafia is established that they always kill the hostage afterwards, and no one survives. Like, even the people who give them the money, they kill.
Yeah, so you definitely should let the hostage go, otherwise no one will negotiate with you. Because there's no point.
Okay.
So yeah, you should always kill the hostage if you don't get what you want, and not kill the hostage if you do get what you want.
Okay.
From that perspective. I'm not sure what to do from the police perspective.
Yeah.
But game theory wise, from the hostage taker's perspective, definitely always kill the hostage.
Yes. Actually, both the first two stories of Artemis Fowl are about first three are about taking hostages, aren't they? Huh.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
There's various different hostage situations in all three of them.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a while since I read those.
Yeah.
So guess what?
What?
It's your lucky day.
Okay.
Because I've got more Kant.
Okay. Got the Kant train.
Yeah, so I had a question from the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I was wondering, does performing your duty always treat yourself as a means to an end? Because you don't want to do something, but you do it anyways because it's the right thing. So then you're treating yourself as a means to the end to do the right thing.
I think that you are your duty is the end, and doing the right thing is the end, and making yourself a better person is the end. And the duty is more of the means. The not liking it, I don't think is taken into account. You're not a part of that as the actions you're completing. Because by that logic, any action then, you would be a means, and you won't be able to do anything.
Exactly. So you think that the job is the means to the end of what?
Is to the end of the outcome you're looking for.
But if you don't want to do something because it's your duty...
You don't want to do it in the moment, but you've established that you have to do it, right? That's the whole duty thing.
Yeah.
And so the ends you are aiming for is the established goal of I have to do this. And it's so you take care of yourself so you don't go insane, so you don't break whatever you have set up. So let's say your duty is, I don't know, washing your car so your car is clean and people socially accept you. And the means is washing the car, and you might not like the means, but the duty, the end, is having a clean car.
But then don't you treat yourself as the thing that makes your car clean?
Well, again, it's impossible to do anything then.
Yeah, but so does this whole system fall apart?
I don't think you can treat yourself as the means. I think that you personally...
Because aren't you sacrificing yourself then?
You're not sacrificing yourself, you're sacrificing your time.
Yeah.
And I don't think you are your time. I think your time is a different thing. You exist within your time, but you are not it.
If you're doing something contrary to your nature, isn't that against yourself?
It's against your nature. And I don't think you do things that are against your nature. And
what you do, because they're your duty.
Are duties things you do against your nature?
Yeah, they're things that you don't want to do.
Well...
But you have to because they're moral.
Ah. Well, then it is in your nature because you have a moral nature. I think it's not against your nature. I think it's against your selfish...
Well, the console thing was that you don't have a moral nature, that nature isn't related to morals. Reason is related to morals.
Well, I don't know, maybe his system is false on this.
So my thought was that if you avoid a duty, you treat yourself as a means to avoiding pain.
Like you're treating yourself to a means to the end.
Yeah, by avoiding duty.
Yes.
Because you're sacrificing your moral and reasonable standing to avoid pain.
Huh. But by that logic, you're also using yourself to do pain. Actually, that's interesting.
Because pain isn't...
So what you're saying, actually, in the moment, is you're using yourself as a means to the end of pain.
Yeah. No, to avoid pain.
No, but when you do your duty, you're a means to pain, because you're avoiding pain. Then by doing it, you're using yourself.
No, because your goal isn't pain, so you're not a means to pain. You're a...
Yeah, exactly. So if your goal isn't pain, then your goal is the other thing, then you aren't the means. It's the action that's the means that you're taking.
Yes, because you are a being of reason, and you're not sacrificing your reason when you do something that is reasonable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your duty is reasonable, or should be.
Yeah, so that was my thought anyways.
Okay.
So
seeing if I could come to the same conclusion.
Yeah, I was curious. Because I wrote down the first question and I thought that Kant's work didn't make sense then, but then I thought of the second one, so I wrote that down as well.
Okay.
So, I read chapter 3 of Kant.
Do tell.
Yeah. Now you're vibrating like a junkie for more Kant. More magic Kant.
Actually, there's an interesting...
You can't stop these.
There's an interesting thing I noticed about my vibration of my leg. When I'm sitting still for a long period of time, so I pop my leg up and down. I noticed at a group of people for liberal arts, because I started school recently, in the room, up to 3 other people at any time would be doing the exact same action as me, as jiggling their leg up and down. And then one of them would stop intermediately and like calm down or whatnot, or just stop the action. But 2 were constantly doing it.
I think it's like a failing of character, like a lack of self-control. It's like probably quite indicative of future smokers and drug abusers. Yeah, Kant. Actually, I'm gonna grab my apples first, so you can leave this running, or you can fill the air with your singing. I don't know, or pause it. I might collapse from hunger in a second. So. Welcome back. So, where were we? I was going to talk about Kant.
Yeah. Chapter 3.
Kant, chapter 3. Here we go. So, I wrote down notes here because it was a bit more complicated than the other chapters, and it didn't seem to actually build a foundation like I thought it was supposed to. So, I don't know. I think it might be in there somewhere, because I keep coming up with little connections here and there, but it's definitely taking some thinking. Okay, so, final chapter.
Yes.
His argument basically goes like this. He says, if we have free will, then the rest of his argument must follow. And he says that there are those that would argue that we don't have free will, but that is a ridiculous argument because it's not useful even if we don't have free will. So we must act as if we have free will because it's the only thing that works.
Okay.
Which seems fair to me.
Yeah.
I have read in War and Peace near the end, he had some very good arguments against free will. But I think you could even say you don't have free will, but...
There's no point discussing this if you don't.
Oh, well, that was what I said before. But even on top of that, you could say that you have free will. No, you don't have free will, but you don't have free will, but everything functions as if you do. So you may as well treat your non-free will as free will for the purpose of determining reality and things and so on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So he says if we have free will, then we are beings of reason. And the reason for that is that we are not... So there's two kinds of beings that he sort of defines. There's beings of their senses and there's beings of intellect. And so a being of senses is one that runs totally on instinct. And a being of the senses runs totally on intellect. So there's being of the senses and being of intellect. Being of the senses runs totally on their senses and instincts. So they are acted upon. If a tree falls in front of them, they see it, they move around it. If it rains, they are cold, so they go into a shelter because everything acts upon them. The wind picks up a leaf and blows it around. That's a being of the physical world. But humans, we can't actually prove that any of our senses are real because we know that it's all just light hitting our eyes, sound hitting our ears, which means that if we were deaf and blind, reality still exists to us. If we couldn't feel anything, reality still exists. You could be in one of those isolation chambers and you would still experience, which means... and there's also that classic thing, do I see the same color blue as you? Or you could even say, do I hear sound in the same way? Because it's all about how your brain interprets everything. So there's also the idea of like the Matrix, where we're just all suspended in like tanks or something and the reality is totally fake. So we have no idea if our senses are telling us the truth or not, but we act as if we do because that's the best way to work. But we work in the area of the intellect. We are beings of intellect, which means that we influence the world rather than are influenced by it. Because a being of the intellect can ignore their senses and come up with something else. So we can develop physics and we can influence the world, or we can... So that's his being of intellect. Which he claims we are, which is fairly... and so we're a being of reason. So a thing that is a thing in and of itself, back from the old humans are an end in of themselves, is something that can influence other objects. So I think that's a fair way to think of why beings of reason are an end in of themselves. So I think that's actually a logical structure. So I guess it actually does help with the past bit a bit more than I said it did, even though I was confused. So if we have free will, it's because we have reason. If we have reason, we must be moral. And that's because it's logical to act only as we would have all others act. Because that's how we know everyone else is going to act around us.
And things are predictable, and then you don't get murdered in your sleep.
That's one way to look at it. Or just, if everyone was going to Earth and they'd never been there, and they're all going to suddenly inhabit a body and be there, and you had to develop a series of ways to act, you would come to the conclusion that whatever conclusion I come to, another reasoning being could come to. And so we should all come to one that is beneficial. And so you'd say, I'm a being of reason, therefore I can influence things, therefore I am an end in of myself, which means that I cannot do things to transgress that end, which means... And because I can come up with these rules independently, that means everyone else can come up with these rules independently, which means that every rule must apply to every being. Now the part where this... So actually it's fairly solid groundwork, I think, but I'm not totally convinced. I have to think about it. Well, not think, read a bit more maybe. But the part where it falls apart for me a little bit is they found... I was talking about those tit-for-tat robots earlier. How they have this method of, okay, if you both do bad, it's really bad. If you do bad and your opponent does good, that is really good for you and awful for them. If you both do bad, it's bad for both of you. If you both do good, it's okay for both of you. So the best response they've come up with is start good and then respond how your opponent acts, but always forgive a little bit. So if you have like I think at least 100 of these robots going, there is another viable strategy. Because the density becomes so high, and if they don't interact with each other too often, so if instead of playing the same game head to head over and over, you have the robots randomly get a new partner each round. And then they can, I guess, if they randomly get a new partner each round, first of all, they're all going to be kind to each other. Mostly, some might start bad just for try to get that little bonus in there, and then go to good. But well, actually, if there's 100, it wouldn't be enough. But if there was, I think the number's like 1,000. Well, it's about 2 to 3%. And anyways, so if you had 100 robots, you could have 2 or 3 of them doing this in theory.
Okay.
It depends on their memory. In real life, the numbers are 2 to 3%, but in reality, it's not percentage based. You'd need.
What is this 2 to 3%? What does it represent?
Get into that.
Yeah, I think you should get to that before saying the 2 to 3%.
You need at least like 10,000 people for this to work.
Okay.
Because people have a memory and they can communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Psychopaths. So you can have a robot that always does the bad one.
So the tit for tat robots actually have psychopaths in them?
It's an effective strategy if there's enough of them.
Really?
Yeah. Because
Like, so psychopaths will just pop up in the tit for tat robots?
no, these are made by people.
Oh, they make them?
Yeah.
Oh, so like a group of people make these robots and try have theirs win or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But when they do them with evolutionary algorithms so they can adopt, they do tend to form into that forgive thing. But 2 to 3% will be psychopaths. So then the psychopaths will emerge.
Yeah.
Because if everyone is being good, then you can have a certain amount become exploitative.
Yeah.
Because everyone's handing out stuff. So it's the same idea. You always set an extra table, an extra plate at the table in case guests come by to feed them. And the idea is, if you're out in the wilderness, you go to someone's house, you get a plate. However, if there's enough people and it's dense enough, you could survive just by going to a different person's house every night.
Yeah.
And maybe every year or so come back to the old person's house. So if you take like 300, 400 people, you could just have free meals forever. And you wouldn't have to work at all.
Mm-hmm.
So society can basically be exploited by 2 to 3%. But what happens then is the psychopath numbers go up because it's a viable strategy. They go up and up and up. And then I think around 20%, if they hit 20%, the entire society collapses because nobody's doing anything. They're all exploiting each other and just collapses.
So, just quick. So, in the tit for tat robots, when they're being bad to each other,
Yeah.
if one's bad repeatedly, shouldn't the contest have tit for tat robots be allowed to socially isolate the nasty ones or arrest them or something? Because that seems what society would do to someone who's taking advantage. And then only the really good ones would remain. And that would be the constant 3% that actually figured it out, while the ones that are a little too exploitative.
Well, being exploitative
destroyed.
wouldn't necessarily be illegal, but isolation could be a idea. Or if they had a memory for what kind of robot they're dealing with, then they could say, okay, I'm going to treat this robot bad all the time, kind of thing.
Yeah, if the robots start getting a sacred law.
How the tit for robot works, it always has a little bit of forgiveness, which means if it was going bad, 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 forgive once, bad, 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 forgive once, and the other robot's going pure bad, the pure bad actually wins. Because every little once in a while it gets a little point boost.
So the nice guys
has to never forgive.
So the nice robots get screwed over by the mean one.
Yes, but it doesn't actually work unless there's enough of them, because then otherwise everyone becomes a psychopath. And then nobody's contributing any points in, because the scores are actually positive and negative, so everyone's score would become negative.
Yeah, and then they'd all die.
Yeah.
So.
And then 2 robots off on the side being nice to each other would win.
Yeah. So, how do you?
So why was that linked to Kant again?
You're saying that.
My brain's coming awake.
You're saying it refutes Kant, the tit for tat robots, because his society is the belief without psychopaths. Yet they still show up.
Right, yeah. So psychopaths are still work, which means if you had enough reasoning beings, one could say, well, all the other reasoning beings would think this, which means I could get away with it. However, I guess why Kant works for that is he would say, well, that means the other reasoning beings would also think I could be a psychopath, in which case society doesn't work, which means we can't be.
Yeah.
But you could be like, well, I'm sure that won't happen. But wait, if I think I'm sure it won't happen, then others will think. So basically, a reasoning being has to think that everyone is having the exact same thoughts of them at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, the only reasonable strategy is to be good.
Yeah.
However, and you can think that all reasoning beings are like that, but the world is so messy that psychopaths can actually flourish. Which means Kant's philosophy works really well in a vacuum, but I'm not sure how it would work in the real world.
I think his philosophy would work amazingly well in the real world if everyone followed it. But the thing is, you have to have everyone following it for it to work. If even one person deviates from Kant's thing, they could destroy society.
I think what you could do,
Like if let's say you have 100 people,
yeah,
and everyone's following this, except for the 100th person.
yeah,
So I treat people as I want to treat, so I don't do anything nasty, there's no lie in the society, there's no murder, there's nothing wrong. Then this one person who just doesn't care about that, kills someone else. What happens? Does everyone think it's a horrible way that did? Well, obviously is, so they get rid of that person, because there's now 98 people versus one person,
yeah.
and he broke their law, and so they get rid of him. Or does this person have free reign in that society?
Yeah,
I think that the 98 within the rules is each person can accept if the law is broken
yeah,
by a reasoning being, then the one who broke the law shall be punished.
yeah. That seems like that could work.
And that's a reasonable thing.
Yeah, that's it. Which is sort of what society works. So what you could actually use Kant for is not a literal society necessarily, but you could say anything that works under Kant's rules is what is moral and good, and that is how we should dictate society. However, we are aware that society can't actually be this way, but if we have to ask ourselves if something's good, then we use Kant's morals.
Yeah, because...
So I think Kant's morals could be considered 100% correct, but they're not going to be followed, if that's...
Yeah. Well, my thought experiment, where I thought I was going to go with this one person, is I thought they'd have free reign. But as I progressed speaking through it, and thinking about, they wouldn't get free reign. Because people would decide they don't like that, for one thing. And it goes against the rules, and they can make a rule against that rule. Or they can make a rule against breaking rules, or there's a rule for what happens to those who break rules. That can be followed within their system.
Yes, so in Gödel Bach, there's this really interesting... It's related.
Okay.
There's this... this is a mathematically provable statement.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it because it took the author 400 pages. I can actually do it a lot quicker using diagonal... okay, go look at Vsauce's video on the diagonal infinity... I think it's a video about infinity or something. And there's this... it's called diagonal... diagonal algorithm or anyways, what it proves is that you can have infinite set, that you can have a set of every single number that can't contain every single number.
Yeah.
So using that, you can prove that there are certain proofs which exist, which by being expressed would be untrue. So something can be true, but by stating it, it isn't true. It's impossible to state, which is really, it means that if we had all the knowledge there is, we would still be missing an infinite amount of knowledge.
Yeah.
Which is a very weird statement, but it's true. It's just...
A different way of looking at that expression of the infinite knowledge, I guess we're trying to express infinity. This quick example is, in our universe with infinite possibilities, you would think that there's the possibility for aliens to exist, because there's an infinite possibility for them too. However, there's also an infinite possibility for them not to exist, besides us. No, that's not right. There's infinite possibilities, but not everything has to exist within infinity, even if there is infinity.
It's not quite that.
No?
No, it's... there is no sufficiently complicated set that can contain everything it's made to contain. So a set is like a series of things. So a set of all numbers would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it can't contain all numbers. Well, that's not sufficiently complicated necessarily. But if you had like a set of all irrational numbers, it can't actually... so you have pi, you have e, you have 0.12311112411, just some nonsense.
Yeah.
It can't actually... So you have every single one in there.
Yeah.
It's still missing an infinite amount, because what you can do is you can change the first number of the first number, and the second number of the second... You can change the first digit of the first number, the second digit of the second number, the third digit of the third number, the fourth digit of the fourth number. Do that for all of them. Take all those digits and stick them in a line, and you'll have a new number, and the first digit will be different than the first digit of the first number, so it's not the first number. The second digit will be different than the second digit of the second number, so it's not the second number, so on to infinity. So this number is different from every other number. Now, okay, well, we were missing one number. You stick that number in the set. But what's this? You take the first number of that number and change it.
Okay, yeah.
So the set can never contain all the numbers, even though it's designed to.
Yeah.
Which means that there are statements which are true that are, by stating them, become untrue. Because you can say, like, this is a set that contains all sets except itself. No, this is a set that contains... let me see.
My ears started ringing.
Well, anyways, I'm not the best one to explain it right now. I'd have to like be prepared.
Yeah.
But so using that anyways, that there's things that are true. So going back to Kant, you could say that what Kant says is the truth that is unattainable, because by stating it, it becomes false.
Yeah.
But it is our guideline all the same.
Yeah.
Because even though that sets can't contain everything, they're still useful to use.
And there can still be a guideline.
Yeah. And even though that the truth can be made false by speaking it, it doesn't mean that the truth doesn't exist.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, which is why the idea of Zen, in a lot of ways, like the Zen philosophy, is very difficult to express, because if it's like, well, why don't you just straight up say what it is? Because if you actually said what it is, then it wouldn't be true.
Yeah.
So, but I would argue that Gödel Escher-Bach actually comes up with a
darn near close way of saying it.
a loophole using mathematics to explain Zen, which I think is weird.
You've been listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
So, I am currently going to school,
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's a mistake or not.
we'll find out.
Yeah, I'll find out. I guess I haven't been in school all that long, but we'll see.
You already hate it?
Or I
done
hate it with
too
a
much
passion.
homework?
No, it's not that at all. I just don't know if school is worth it to a point. Maybe if you have a goal in mind, but what I'm doing, I think, is rather not.
My opinion, school is worth it if you have a goal in mind for your degree. Otherwise, it's just for the knowledge, which is great. However, I think there's other ways to get that knowledge
Okay.
that don't cost as much. That's my opinion. It's just, yeah.
Okay. Right. So, a question for you. I don't know if you have an answer for it.
I have an answer for everything.
Okay. So, funerals, right?
Yeah.
Meant to be sad occasions, really somber. But almost every funeral I've been to, or everyone I've heard about, is this isn't a funeral. This is a, I don't know, party of life or a celebration of life, and we're celebrating their life, and they're like bittersweet affairs a lot of the time. And
Go on.
they're like always like doing the funerals are trying to make them not sad. But the classic idea of the funerals, everyone's wearing black, everyone's sad, it's a somber occasion, there is no happiness. So why don't those happen anymore? Why don't we have funerals anymore? We always have like celebrations of life.
I think it's because funerals aren't meant to be sad.
But they're always portrayed as sad, but when you actually go to them, they are bittersweet.
It's because funerals are sad, not because they're meant to be sad. I think.
And so they're portrayed as really sad because it'd look really weird to have a bunch of people having this party.
I don't know where you're seeing them portrayed as...
Well, in movies and stuff, like someone's...
But they are quite sad because someone's died. Like,
Yeah.
if you go to a funeral, everyone's quite sad. So...
But I don't know, I have like this idea in my mind of some like Victorian thing funeral where everyone's really right and proper, and it's just person gets buried and they're all sad, and then they talk a little bit about it, and then they all go home sad, and they're not like going and eating food and talking about the good times of it. It's just like, this is a sad event, there is a funeral, boo-hoo. Or people say this is not a funeral, this is a celebration of life.
Yeah.
Like a lot of time they say it's not a funeral.
Because they don't want it to be about death, they want it to be about life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're... Well, I think
Have funerals ever existed?
I think that calling it a celebration of life is possibly just a affectation. Like, I think funerals have always been happy and sad, and because you're remembering someone, but which is nice to do. They're also gone, so it's quite sad. If the Victorian era was different, which I'm not necessarily
Convinced it is.
or I haven't been there, so I don't know. I would say that was probably because people in the Victorian era especially wanted to be seen as proper, and it's proper to be sad when someone has died. Which, so they would have put on their sad face for the funeral because you're supposed to be sad, and it was probably more of a ceremony of being sad, and laughing was disrespecting under that culture set or something. And that would also be maybe the Victorian people. I don't know what the Tasmanian people were doing at that time for their funerals, or like the Indians or anything. But yeah, I think they're. But I what you're saying about they're all called celebrations of life these days. Maybe there is a technical definition for a funeral that I'm not aware of. Like a funeral might have to involve a burial. I'm not sure.
Okay.
In which case, a lot of people like to do those in private now.
Yeah.
So it could be that.
Maybe.
Because
Or not even variable. A lot of the times cremation is guaranteed to the wind.
last time I went to a funeral, I think it was so soon after the death that it had to be a bit more of a celebration of life almost. Like I don't think they know if they even had access to the body yet or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah.
It's not the happiest of topics even.
Yeah, it's...
I've just been pondering because I feel like funerals aren't a thing in today's society.
I've always been cautious of the statement, it's not like it used to be sort of thing, or like nowadays this...
I'm not trying to say it, I don't think I've ever experienced them. It's like, it's not like it used to be. I don't think I've ever experienced one.
Yeah, but they might have never existed in the way you're picturing them. The other thing is, when you watch a movie, they have to condense it. And I even think a lot of movies I've seen, they have a lot of laughs and stuff in the funerals. Yeah. Like, they seem to be fairly funeral-y. There's laughs and sadness and a bit of a mix. The other thing is, they might have been... Oh, this is an interesting thought. Humans are theorized to laugh because it's a way to expel energy. Because when our train of thought changes, we have this sort of energy overload in our brain, and so it's expelled through energy, is a theory I've read. So if something's like really scary and then it's like a bunny, you laugh because like a bunny might not make you laugh on its own, but it's like really, you hear this creepy music and there's a rustling and suddenly it's just this bunny, and so you might laugh because all that adrenaline and energy from the fear,
preparing for the fear,
has to go somewhere, and if you don't laugh, then your
head explodes.
You get like an adrenal drain or something instead, which is like, I've heard that those, like if you try to do those don't laugh challenges, you can actually leave you feeling a little weird. Although I'm not sure about that. That could be total nonsense then.
Like in Terry Pratchett, a witch went around telling the village that people only have a certain amount of gas in their bodies, and when they lose all their gas, they die. And so everyone in the village after that had really uncomfortable expressions on their faces until she told them that it's okay, release gas, and she was wrong. And she just did that as a prank.
It's abuse of authority.
But yeah, I think witches have to do that, though.
You're listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
Yeah. So would you slap an ice cream cone out of a kid's hand for $1 billion?
For $1 billion?
Yeah.
Is this a trick question?
Kid's at the park, got an ice cream cone. He's about to lick it. I'm gonna lick this ice cream cone. Thank you, Daddy.
Is this a trick question?
Lick it, and then some guy walks up to you and he's like, "Hey, you slap that ice cream cone out of that kid's hand, I'll give you $1 billion."
And I guarantee to get it.
Yeah.
I'll do.
Yeah. Just walk over, slap that ice cream cone out of the kid's hand.
Yeah.
He's cried. Sees a guy handing you money.
Yep.
Alright.
Then I give him half the money.
Okay.
Well, it's a kid, so, and I don't know how responsibly his parents could hold it, so I'd hold the money in trust by buying him another ice cream.
Okay.
Because I want to be reasonable. I don't want to ruin this kid.
Alright.
So I'd make sure, like, hold until he gets a certain age, and then maybe try and mentor him even, because that'll be old man at that point. Try to keep connection with the kid, because this kid made me a lot of money.
Yeah.
So try to keep connection with the kid, and then like give him the money eventually or whatnot, and explain the situation to him when he's old enough, and just try to figure this all out.
Or at least buy him another ice cream.
Yeah. Well, I'd say he's like 50% of the whole thing was him having the ice cream, having to go through that experience.
Well, plus the price of the ice cream, so he really did more work.
Yeah, exactly. So
But and the emotional trauma.
yeah, but he's a kid, so I want to make sure it's like responsible and stuff. You don't, because giving some, like, you can definitely ruin people.
Yeah. All right. Would you do it for $1 million?
Yes.
Would you do it for 1,000?
Yes.
Okay. New universe. Guy walks up to you. Hey, I'll give you $1 billion. You slap an ice cream cone on that kid's hand. You're not allowed to apologize to him in any form.
$1 million.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
And can't apologize to him in any form.
Yeah.
Ooh. Any form.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How about $1 million?
Yes.
How about $1,000?
Yes.
Okay. So he says you walk over to that kid, you slap it out of his hand, you get $1,000.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Where was I going with this? Then
I hope you're going somewhere with this.
Yeah. So then,
Besides just proving that I'm a greedy bastard.
all right. So then, you come back to. Okay, so you go. So you spend $1,000 on your Magic the Gathering habit. You're out of money.
Okay. Yep.
You're walking through the park. Same guy walks up to you. He's like, "Hey, want to make some more money?" And you're like, "Oh boy."
Okay.
And he's like, "All right, but inflation. You gotta knock the ice cream cone out of that kid hand and that kid hand for the $1,000."
Okay.
But he's like, "Okay, so you'll still do it for me?"
Yeah.
All right. And come back to me tomorrow. I got more. So you come back tomorrow. Your arm's laden with Magic Gathering cards, and he's like, "All right, now we got a bit of a problem. We're gonna have to knock those 4 kids' ice cream cones and knock that hot dog out of that guy's hand
Yeah.
for $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna do it?"
Yep.
All right. And then he comes back to you the next day, and he's like, "It's getting bad. All right, you're gonna have to stand here for like 2 hours. Anytime someone tries to get ice cream, you knock it out of their hand." He's like,
Can I ask him why?
"The viewers want it. It's demanded."
The viewers want it.
Yeah.
That's his reason.
Yep. That's what he says.
Well, I've already set the moral precedent that I'll do it for money.
Yeah, but this is a lot more people you're doing it to now.
But I've already ruined those other people.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Then he's okay. Next day, he's like, "All right, same
I
thing."
mean, because I do have a reasoning behind it. Because like ice cream isn't all that healthy,
Right. So same thing.
so I don't feel super guilty. Because I might.
But that is their money.
That was their money, yeah. But I mean, I if someone buys like cocaine,
Yeah.
and they're like going to my, like, I'm in a public park,
Yeah.
and they're going like, and a police officer says, "Stop that person! I'll give you money."
Yeah.
I'm going to go, "Okay, sure," and I'll stop them. I'll kick their cocaine in the ground, stomp on it so they can't use it anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So next day, you come back to the park. You really want to add another Black Lotus to one of your decks that you've been tweaking.
Okay.
And those things, they cost a fortune.
Right.
So you go to him and he says, "All right, now,
I mean, I am making $1,000 a day.
yeah." And he's like, "Okay, we got a problem here. Same thing, 2 hours, but can only pay $100. You still up for it?"
No.
Okay, yeah, we've had a bit of inflation. However, we've got another job that just came up for $1 million again. Just a little job. You just have to punch one of the kids.
No, I wouldn't.
All right, what if you just steal his hat?
No.
$1 million.
No.
All right, you're one tough bargainer there, Connor, but my boss, he just phoned up $1 billion if you steal a kid's hat and give it to me. My boss really wants that kid's hat. It looks nice. He thinks it'd look good on his mantelpiece.
And no. I actually probably still do it for $1 million.
Okay, for $1 million.
Sure, steal his hat for $1 million.
All right, awesome. Okay. So
Are you trying to denigrate me into crime? Am I going to murder someone eventually?
So you take that kid's hat, and what do? He gives you $1 million. Kid's crying. That was his favorite hat.
Yeah.
Lucky hat. And he's crying. What do you do?
Well,
If you knock an ice cream cone out of his hand right now, then I'll give you another $500,000.
Sure.
All right, but you have to hand it to him first.
Okay. I'm already a terrible person.
All right, come back to the park next day. You know those Black Lotus are really expensive, and you're like, all right, I just want some planeswalkers now. And guy's standing there, and he's like, all right, buddy, they really liked what you did yesterday, the old hat steal and then slap the ice cream out of the hand that you give them. But, inflation again, so you'll have to do it to a couple kids and maybe take one of their watches in the process.
I'm done.
And maybe push a kid over.
I'm done. And it's gone far enough. You know, it's interesting. Because I've come to a conclusion in life, which is prison's really bad.
Losing your ice cream is the worst thing that can happen to you.
Well, I can't eat ice cream, I don't think.
But having it fall out of your hand is... Actually, I had a pie do that one. That was...
Yeah. No, okay.
Blueberry pie.
I've had...
Blueberry. Big piece. I got another piece. It was smaller. A lot smaller.
I have had an ice cream cone in my hand, and I was about to eat it. And then it exploded in my face, covered in white and black goop, and it went all over my shirt, my face, my head, and my ice cream cone. A raven had flown over and pooped on my ice cream. That is one of the most horrible experiences ever, because you're about to eat, like, big bite out of your ice cream, boom, it explodes, and some of that goes flying into your mouth. It is horrible.
Yeah. But prison, close second.
Yes. No, so what I was getting at is, in my many years of experience, I've come to the conclusion that
dozens. No, not even dozens.
living with regret is horrible.
Yeah.
And like going...
So you don't regret knocking the ice cream out of that kid's hand?
Yes.
Or stealing his
Well, that's the thing. I might. I'd have to ponder this a little more.
But you don't want to regret it. That's bad.
Yeah.
No regrets.
Yeah, no regrets. But
push the kid over.
Let me... It's the point of... I don't want to have to apologize to people. I don't want to have to apologize. So I want to live my life so I don't have to apologize to people. Because apologizing
you don't make money
sucks.
if you apologize.
I don't want to have to feel bad about the things I've done. I didn't do something and people get upset and then I have to say, okay, I'll do next time, and it's just a bad situation. I don't want those experiences to happen. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I think the best way to not have to deal with those things is do the things in the first place, or not do the things that would make you feel bad. So in later on in life, would I feel terrible for knocking the ice cream cones out of kids' hands for making a ton of money? I don't think so with the knocking the ice cream. But I don't know if that makes me a good person or not. But I don't think ice cream's good for you. And I mean, sure, it sucks. Kid will have a memory. The kid will have a memory of this,
it was the kid's own money from his allowance, too.
Yeah, so the kid will have this, memory, or maybe not, maybe he'll block out, but at some point he'll have the trauma of this big ogre knocking an ice cream cone out of his hand.
But, he's healthier for it.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
No, you can justify it to yourself. Help you sleep at night.
Yeah, help me sleep. I don't even want to have to help myself sleep at night. I want to have the justification.
Kids, they love getting pushed over. A bit of rough and tumble. You should do that as well. And, it's kind of brotherly to, punch a kid on the shoulder hard enough they fall over, I think. So, $1,000,000.
However, I'm not allowed to apologize.
Make it tougher.
See, if I was allowed to apologize to them, then the situation is explainable. And there could be more justification. The kid could get money, and it actually could be a just good. So, could I, I give this money to charity, except it's not directly benefiting the kid, so I feel guilty about not directly benefiting the kid, and it's just this shallow feeling of, okay, I gave money to charity to try to save my soul, but I'm already trying to save my soul. I shouldn't want to be in a position where I feel like I have to save my soul by giving money to charity. My soul should already be saved.
Alright, so next thing, okay? You're at home, knock on the door, guy with a suitcase. Okay. Hey Connor, how's it going? I really like your work. Right, so, thing is, my boss's cameras, right? He ran out of camera funds, so he doesn't have cameras anymore, but he likes knowing that kids are still getting ice creams knocked out of their hands out there. So tell you what, here's a sticker book, right, with a stamp. Alright, I want you to stamp this book every time you knock an ice cream cone out of a kid's head. You're still not allowed to tell them. For every stamp you put in here, I'll give you $1,000. All right?
And $1,000 to the kid?
So you just come to me at the end of the day, and no, the money's for you. What are you talking about? You're not allowed to apologize to the kid in any way.
No, but I'm not apologizing. It's just the kid also gets $1,000 from you.
No.
Could I get 500?
No, they don't get anything.
Okay.
You're not allowed to apologize anyway. Right. But you just come we don't have cameras anymore or anything. You come to me at the end of the day, you give me the sticker book, and I'll give you $1,000 for every stamp in the sticker book. All right? Cool. So, see you around. So he hands you the book. What do you do?
Oh dear. Alright, I should stop shaking my leg. It actually vibrates the mic when we're speaking. I could just stamp it a bunch. This guy's kind of immoral too.
Okay, so...
I just stamp it a bunch.
Okay.
Like a reasonable amount every day.
Alright.
Give it to him.
Okay.
Does he come break my kneecaps?
No. He comes back and says, "Oh, excellent. My boss is really happy. Here's your 1,000 every day, day after day." He's like, "Oh yeah, excellent. Oh, you're doing good work." And then he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have to reduce it to 500 though, but I'm sure that's no problem."
Okay.
So then what do you do?
I keep that up.
Yeah, same amount of stamps, more stamps.
Same amount.
All right. So yeah, every time.
Maybe I try and make up because I want to make a bit more money, so I try and make up for it by stamping more.
All right. And then at the end of the week, he says, "And here's your $10,000 line bonus."
What? I have a $10,000 line bonus?
My boss really likes how you've been stamping those without actually doing anything. He's really impressed by your work.
Okay. When does this end?
I don't know.
What's the point?
Well, you just justified lying a bunch and taking money from someone. I don't know. I can see how much more I can get out of you.
See, the thing, this is a hypothetical. I don't think I would even...
You're supposed to say what you do in a hypothetical.
See, my reasoning is I've already done it, so I might as well keep going.
No, that makes sense. And the guy is immoral. He wants kids' ice cream. You should take money from him.
But I'm being moral to a moral person.
Yeah, but get what goes around comes around.
If I'm feeling this hesitant, I feel slightly dirty just by saying this in a hypothetical. If I feel slightly dirty by saying this in a hypothetical, in reality, I'd probably feel really bad. So if I'm doing this hypothetical, I think I might do it once and then never again.
Well, that would be very unfortunate, Connor. What if we gave you another $200?
No, I'm done.
Like it's another 1,000. We really like your work.
I think I'm set up at the first million.
Well, no, because you bought a bunch of magic cards.
No, I didn't. I've kicked the addiction.
No, unfortunately, you did buy a bunch of magic cards in this hypothetical scenario, and now you don't have money again.
Okay. I don't know. No. I'm not exactly sure.
Because, you see, I've been this descend into evil thing I've thought has never done very well. So,
I feel like I'm descending into evil.
Yeah, well see, I think like in books, it's always the person is bad to begin with, right? Like in those descend into evil things. I think you could justify yourself every step of the way.
So what's the next step?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
So guy comes to your door.
He's like, "Oh yeah, right. Boss doesn't want you pushing kids over anymore. He wants you hitting them in the stamp book." So
I'm still lying.
Yeah. All right. So at the end of 10 weeks, he's like, "Wow, boss, you've been pushing over kids many, many times. Boss really wants to see one in person. Another million." Because you apparently just do this like crazy. So just one in person, another million.
I think I'm done at that point.
Boss wouldn't be happy with that.
What's he going to do?
I don't know. My money might stop coming. I don't want that.
Okay, money stop coming. I'm good with that.
Yeah, but you just bought all those magic cards. You don't have it anymore.
Yeah, well, I'm not. No, I'm not buying. You have to get rid of the hypothetical of me buying magic cards for this to work.
I'm saying if you had a drug problem, then you would be in serious trouble, wouldn't you?
I don't have a drug problem.
Yes, you do. You have magic cards.
I don't have a magic problem.
You see what I'm saying? If there's something that made you desperate,
Yep.
you could be led by steps. Even as ridiculous as this.
All right, yeah. So
This is
Cameron,
meant to be reasonable.
all right. So you want to publish your book, right?
Yeah.
So publisher,
Yeah.
or agent. So you're looking for an agent first.
Yeah. Well, if a publisher came to me right away,
No,
then
so
great.
no, you're looking for an agent first.
Okay.
And this guy comes up.
Yeah.
And his name's Sly Larry. We'll just give him a
Yeah.
name. Sly Larry tells you.
So
all right,
my hypothetical, my guy is perfectly trustworthy. I already don't trust Sly Larry.
okay. All right.
My guy will never betray you. He's
Fine.
same guy.
Yeah. Same guy.
He's
Same
from
guy.
Evil Corp.
Same guy. Same guy comes up to you, Cameron.
Yeah.
And he says, "All right, I can get you an agent.
Yeah.
I can get you a really good agent.
Yeah.
Now you just have to do one small thing for me.
Yeah.
It's complete. Like if you don't want to do it, then we'll come up with something else for you to do.
Okay.
And I'll guarantee I'll get you this agent.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do
Yeah.
is there's this store,
Yeah.
and this is just like everyday store.
Yeah.
I want you to go in there
Yeah.
and reorganize their stock.
Yeah.
So even just one small thing, like maybe you take an organic thing
Yeah.
and you put in the non-organic section.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, you just do that. People can read the labels if they're paying attention. It might annoy Stock Boy,
Yeah.
but I mean that's their job. Fix that up.
Yeah.
And you can do that and do that for me, mess with us as much as you like.
Yeah.
And I'll find you an agent, a good agent,
Alright.
and guaranteed.
All right. So I say to him, according to Kant, I'd be using that stock boy as a means to an end of getting an agent, which is morally wrong. And yes, I'll do it. Okay, bye.
All right.
And then I'd go and take an orange and stick it in the apple section.
All right. So you've done that.
Yeah.
Everyone's done that even without this offer.
Yeah.
All right. And so you got your agent.
Yeah.
But he comes up to you and says, your agent, even though he's amazing,
Yeah.
like, I guaranteed, like, any book you want to publish,
Yeah.
he'll get for you. But unfortunately, your first book,
Yeah.
he's a part of my corporation,
Yeah.
and he wants to know,
Part of Evil Corp.
Yeah.
Sly
Yeah.
Larry's Incorporated.
yeah, and he wants to know that you're committed to this. Like, he wants to know that you're dependable,
Yeah.
and, like, oh, you need to just do one thing for him. He'll never ask you to do anything again, this guy.
Okay, yeah.
For him to find you a publishing company. And all he needs you to do is he needs you to go to a clothing store. And he needs you to take something from the men's section or something from the women's section and put in the men's section.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he needs you to do.
Yeah.
But you have to do it and like, sorry, not something. He needs you like a whole trolley,
Okay.
like a car, like one of those hanging carts of clothes.
Hmm.
If that's a little too much for you, like just a small, like maybe 4, 5, you're like hesitating, okay, four garments.
Okay.
4 garments,
All
one
right.
section to the other.
Yeah.
So that, and he can publish your book.
Right. Well, I don't know why he needs to be committed if he believes in my book so much. Cause
Well, no, he just needs to make sure that, like, he just needs that done. Like, I need that done.
it's what the publisher wants it.
Yeah, the publisher wants
It's
it.
Random House. They've
Yeah.
got like quirky fraternity initiation ceremonies.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, publishers want it.
Yeah, the silly publisher, Random House. They're a bunch of jokers. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'd do it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, so you do it. Okay, so now Random House comes to you,
Yeah.
and the representative is this guy with this briefcase.
Yeah.
Random House represents that guy.
You're everywhere.
Yeah, and he tells you, all right, Random House is like great to publish a book. It's going to be like they're going to publish a book. It's just good. It's going to do good. They're going to do their best to boost up.
Yeah.
But there's a slight problem, which is Random House has ran out of cartridge ink.
Yeah.
So I need you to go to a cartridge ink store
Yeah.
and get some cartridge ink for us.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Random House has already given you all that money,
Yeah.
and they can't have you spending that money on something neat. So I need you to steal that cartridge ink.
Can't I use my own money?
No. Your own money's dirty. It belongs to a drug lord. You've got all your money's been dirty up till this point.
Isn't it still mine?
All right, no. No, okay. Random House to publish your book, they need you to do like a publicity stunt.
Yeah. Okay, publicity stunt. Yeah, okay, that's
So
understandable.
publicity
Yeah.
stunt.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So
Oh,
you-
sure.
so you
do
need-
a little, and then yeah, okay, a little publicity. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
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 And then we talk to like Staples or whoever and
Yeah.
arrange it with them after. Or?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll do a publicity
Yeah, and
stunt.
so you do a publicity stunt, and they arrange it with Staples afterwards.
Yeah.
But you've done the job without knowing if it'd be arranged. All right? So, yeah, your book's published, whatever happens with
Yeah.
it. And then Origin comes to you.
Yeah.
Same businessman.
Yeah.
And they're like, All right, we'll give you a computer,
Ooh.
a good one too,
Ooh.
like the one you want customized.
Ooh, I want a better one if you're giving me a free one.
Yeah, it's like your choice completely.
Ooh.
You just need to go into the park.
Ray tracing.
You just need to go into a park and push over a kid with ice cream cone in his hand.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And I can tell him afterwards it was for my computer?
Yep. You don't have to though.
How hard?
Just so he falls over. You can even find a nice patch of grass to push him over. You can even just bump into him, make it look like an accident.
I think that's worse.
Or you can point and laugh at him when he falls over.
Tell you what, if you point and laugh when he throws over, we'll throw in a laptop free of charge.
Yeah. Although you will need a monitor, so I need you to also slap your friend. Any friend will do. Just slap your friend. No reason. Don't tell them why.
Okay, that one I do. But
slap a stranger then.
I don't think so.
I'll also give you $1,000.
I don't...
$10,000 extra.
I'm not sure if...
$1 million pushover kid. With ice cream cone.
But do I need the million?
10 million.
I'll
give you a free trip to Mars and back again.
Ooh. Maybe.
Okay. Alright. And then you're walking down the beach and you've gone to Mars and back again.
Yeah.
And you find a lamp on the beach, right?
Yeah.
Or no, a bottle. You pull a cork out of the bottle, poof, smoke pours out, and it's the guy giving the suitcase. And he turns out to be a genie.
He says he'll give me 3 wishes.
He says, I'll give you 3 wishes. But you have to do one small favor for me in return. You have to clothesline, that could hurt someone, no. You have to go into a park.
Tell me who to kill.
3 wishes. You have to go into a park and for 1 hour push over a new person every 10 minutes.
3 wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the problem with this is it's hard to top that. I can't get more evil than pushing over people at this point.
You have to... Alright, fine. You have to break someone's leg.
Yeah, deal.
And you can't wish to fix it.
Yep, deal. I already broke someone's leg.
You don't have to cripple someone for life.
Oh.
You have to cut off someone's hand. 3 wishes. Just cut off someone's hand. And you're allowed to wish for it back, but that's one of your wishes used up.
That's brutal. I don't... Oh, man. I don't think so.
Alright, you have to cut off their hand, you still get 3 wishes, their hand grows back. They won't even remember it.
Yeah, that's nasty.
They won't remember it. Only you will. Cut off my hand. Here's the knife, here's a machete, you cut off my hand, 3 wishes, I'll grow it back.
If you're willing, then...
Deadpool, cut off Deadpool's hand.
Well, why not yours, if you're willing?
Okay, cut off my hand. Except if it's me, I have to cut off both my hand and my feet.
I mean... Yeah, okay.
And I'll remember it. I'll feel the pain.
Will you scream?
Probably.
Will you thrash a bit or hold still?
No pain, no gain.
Will you hold still?
Probably.
How many cuts will it take? What kind of knife am I working with?
Big old machete. If you're strong enough, good aimed hack, get it on the joints, go clean through.
So it's probably just a couple of hacks at least.
Yeah.
And you'll scream?
Oh yeah.
And thrash.
It's involuntary, I can't help it.
What? Are you okay with this?
Yep.
I guess so.
Right, so you call his first head, like, oh God, stop! Don't do it anymore! I'll do anything, don't do any more! Besides giving you wishes, no more!
I'll do anything but give you more.
If you want the wishes, you have to continue! Oh God, the blood! The humanity, you monster! You're cutting off someone else's limbs for your own selfish gain!
Is it going to grow back?
I don't know. I'm in so much pain I can't think. And so you cut off his feet after that, both feet at once. You're going. You've got your hatchets in both hands. Chop, chop, both feet. And you scream and bleed. And you take the machete, you remove his final hand. And he's just in horror. And he's like, okay, 3 wishes and they're back. But it's like 20 minutes of having to deal with that.
Oh, I feel sick. That was a change of emotions there. Just way too fast.
So 20 wishes.
20 wishes?
No, 3 wishes.
3 wishes. But...
Although I'm a frit, not a genie, so they're going to be in the worst possible outcome. If you want the best possible outcome for those wishes, you have to do something more.
What do I have to do? I've already cut off your hands and feet.
Alright, so so I'm going to send you back in time.
Yeah.
Okay, you can pick any horrible person from history, anyone you want.
Yeah.
The only rule is they have to be able to feel pain, okay?
No.
And you have to go back in time and find this person. I don't care who they are, it's not up to me.
Yeah.
Your moral judgment. You have to curb stomp them. Any person in
What if
history.
there's no curbs?
If there's no curbs, then like whatever, like rock stomp them or something, and then jug them a bit.
After their jaw's broken.
Yeah.
And their teeth are smashed.
Yes.
And their neck's possibly broken.
Yep.
And have to throw boiling water at them.
Yeah, and won't change the course of history. They'll have a nightmare about it. That's it.
They just have a nightmare about it.
Yeah, but in the moment they will experience it. But then a week it'll just be a nightmare.
I don't think so.
You sure?
Yeah.
3 wishes. You could wipe that from the record with one of the wishes. You could make it so you never did that. And still keep your moral fortitude in place. One of those wishes, you could just get rid of that.
Is that how that works?
Yep. It's a wish. You can do anything with it. Then there's no catches with these wishes.
It's just nasty, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it reminds me of a dream I had once. I had this dream where Hitler had like gathered a bunch of children to like serve him, sort of, and I was like his aide at the time, and he had crippled me or something somewhere along the line, or maybe this was later. No, he crippled me later, I think. But anyways, I was his aide, and we were standing on a podium, and there's a big crowd there standing there, and he was throwing T-shirts into the crowd. But the T-shirts were like
Like a T-shirt cannon?
I don't know, just with his hand or something.
Or
they're
one
like
of those silly slingshots you have to pull back?
But they were like polyester T-shirts,
Mm.
and they were molten. So he's throwing into the crowd and burning people to death and dying. He's like leaning over the balcony and chucking them, throwing, and they're burning and dying. And he's like, and just like sticking to their face and burning their skin, bubbling
Okay.
on. And you know, he's reaching out and throwing these, reaching out to get back in the crowd a bit further. And he fell off the balcony. But fortunately, he was able to spin around. It was a really high balcony. He was able to spin around and catch it with his hand.
Alright, and when you catch it, suddenly that guy appears. He's like, hey, I'll give you 3 wishes if you knock his fingers off the ledge.
No, so his grip was weakening.
Yeah.
So he couldn't pull himself up.
Yeah.
So Hitler, who had just murdered a group of people in front of my eyes,
Yeah.
I didn't have to do anything and he would die.
Yeah.
And I pulled him back up onto the balcony.
Mm.
In my dream.
Yeah, but now you have the sense of getting 3 wishes and just letting him drop. You don't have to do anything, you just have to let him drop. This guy's gone back in time into your dream. Just let him drop. You get 3 wishes in real life.
Ooh. But actually, like, if I kind of subscribed to that, like, Descartes, whoever it was, who said, like, what you do in your dreams is what you do in real life. No, that was years ago.
I hope not.
Well, I don't know. Like, do you hope not? Like, should I let someone die?
It's not that case. It's more for sake.
Like, but,
I've tried to be a better person in my dreams because I've been a horrible person in my dreams.
I haven't ever really...
But that's because I am not myself in my dreams. That's the thing. I'm disconnected a lot of the time. We're different people. I'm not exactly sure.
Like, if I'm... I don't know, like, is it... If that happened in real life, Hitler was there, and, like... I mean...
I would save him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I mean...
Well, he has been killing people, though.
But it's wrong to kill? Or you're not even killing him, you're just letting him die.
Yeah,
but it's like I think it's like a mosquito.
You have the choice.
Right? You see a mosquito drowning,
Mm-hmm.
you save it. Mosquito flying around, whack! Take that, you bug.
Yeah.
So maybe what you do is you pull Hitler up and then push him off the balcony.
So you can take the credit. You didn't just stand there. Or maybe he looks at you and goes, "Help me, Cameron!" And you looked out. He was like, "No, Mr. Hitler. I expect you to die," or something.
The people will look up to me and ask for my aid, and I'll look back and whisper, "No." Like, I don't know. Like, it seems pretty obvious to let him die, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, that's... See, Kant would say that was wrong, right?
Yeah.
But he would also say that even slapping the ice cream out of the kid's hand and then apologizing later
is wrong. Yeah.
So, what does Kant know, right? Do I go back in time and, like, curb stomp, like... Who... That's... I mean, that's just awful. There's people that do it for far less than 3 wishes.
Yeah.
But if it's like if you're in a fight with someone or really angry, it's a different thing rather than just like, "Oh, could you send me back to Mao Zedong and
Well, the way to alienate all our Chinese listeners.
Do you think? Is he liked in China?
I think slightly still.
Okay. Well, and Mao,
I don't know.
I don't know. Mao actually. I might have been a wrong thing to say too. Just I don't know if Mao wasn't. I wouldn't consider Mao to be a good leader by any means, but I don't know if I would call him, like, from a list of all the awful leaders, I don't know if he'd be on it. Like, the top 20 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he would. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I think if you, it's like this, they go back and Stalin.
Yeah. Or, okay, let me think. It's so, like, really awful, like...
You could even do it to the Joker, a fictional character.
He's a cartoon character.
You could do it to the guy that...
Hades.
Not Hades.
From Jasper Ford.
The guy who killed the Spearman. Or you could do it to the Errant.
For free.
You could do it to the Errant.
Will be avenged. No. Like, no, it can't be fictional. That's too...
Okay.
No, like... Who's, like, the worst... Okay, top 3 worst historical people.
Ooh.
I say... Actually, I might put Mao on that list. Debatable.
There's several Chinese emperors.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Stalin?
Yeah, maybe Stalin.
And, like, maybe Hitler?
Yeah. Well, the thing about Hitler and Stalin and Mao... is it's just they have a lot of people in their country.
Yeah.
So they look bad.
Maybe Goebbels?
But what I'm saying, I guess, is if you say Hitler, you might as well say Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say maybe Goebbels.
Yeah.
Because I think someone published an article or something, or a paper, why he's the only evil person in history or something. It's a very compelling argument that he is like the only evil person. Like everyone else had mental conditions or problems or like a psychopath. He was just a guy. He's just a guy who willingly committed evil and was aware of it. And it's learning about him was just disturbing. Like all the other people around him did horrible things, but like they had some sort of twisted reason, or they're mentally unhealthy, or there's something to it. Whereas just him, he saw those, he wasn't a psychopath, but he saw those people as a means to an end. He was like, okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
Let's do it this way. This will work the best.
Yeah, so because it's not him that's being hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, very...
Yeah, he just... Goebbels just saw as a way to like, okay, this is the way we can do this.
So his perspective is the right one. The other perspectives don't really matter.
Yeah.
Which would... I don't know what that subjectivism of some sort, solipsism. I don't know.
Or he's just evil, like the argument said. Like they were saying, like studies have been done on him, like references, like his talking to his character and all that stuff. Like he wasn't a psychopath, he wasn't a sociopath. He didn't have a mental problem. He's a very sane, stable guy who was perfectly aware of what he's doing and knew what he was doing, and kept doing it anyways. And it's creepy.
Yeah.
Like, he was totally self-aware and understanding. And even, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure was he tried or not?
I think so.
What?
I'm not totally sure.
In some recount, I'm pretty sure he said, "I have no regrets to what I did." So,
Yeah.
he's like Hades.
Like,
From the accounts I've read, anyways.
Yeah. Like, if you look at, like, a medieval torturer, they probably felt quite righteous in what they were doing.
Yeah.
Or, like, someone like...
Or they're saving your soul.
Yeah. Like...
Or their country.
So, yeah, I don't know if I... But I can't think of, like... A name... Like, Hitler is always the one, but... If you really look through history, I wonder if he really... In a couple... If he'll stand out. Because what he does have on his side is the numbers. Like,
Yeah.
Because even though... I think it was Emperor Qin, or even... caused the most percentage-based death in history. But he's considered a great emperor.
Yeah.
So it's a bit... Like, even by his enemies.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of weird. I think his name was Qin, maybe Quinn.
Yeah.
Qin.
Or Ramses the Second, I think, or Third? Ramses the Third.
The second.
Oh, the second, yeah. He's, like, considered one of the greatest Egyptian emperors ever, and how he made all his money was slavery.
Yeah.
He stole gold from a different nation constantly, made them keep mining, and then he'd steal it from them.
Or like Julius Caesar.
He was brutal.
Like Julius Caesar killed all the Gauls and other Romans, and like Alexander the Great subjugated dozens of peoples.
Thousands of peoples.
Well, I mean like peoples. Like
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Peoples. There's a lot of small clans.
I guess, yeah.
Like, he went as far as he could until he hit the sea, and then he went back the other way. And he would have kept going back the other way if he hadn't died.
And then, like, Genghis Khan, like, he caused a lot of good things. But you could say that about Stalin, too, because Stalin really advanced Russia's technology.
Yeah.
Like, he advanced them, like, 50 years in 5 years or something. And, like, Napoleon is another case where it's like, he's right on the edge for most people normally, I think, anyways.
Yeah.
So it's, like, who is evil in history? Like, Caligula, Nero, I don't know, like...
Nero is portrayed as a villain because that's how the historians and senators want to portray him.
You know,
Nero, according to accounts of the people, was loved by them. He was the theater king. He brought them tons of joy. He was always trying to make the people happy.
But he caused Rome's problems by, like, poor leadership. So I guess he's not evil, he's just incompetent.
Yeah, he was incompetent. The people of Rome loved him, though.
So then,
it was just the senators that disliked him, those people.
And then you look at, like, I don't know, the enemy of, like, Kurosh or, like, Sargon. Like, their enemies were, like, horrific people that would kill your god.
Yeah.
Which is, like, unimaginably evil if you think about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't know.
How many...
Or maybe just some random gangster that has curb stomped someone, and I could be like, well, he's got to get, like,
you don't even have to choose them. What if you didn't have to choose the person? It's just, I'll choose a bad person.
Well, that might be even worse.
Okay, a gangster that has curb stomped someone.
Yeah. I mean...
And you have to jug them. Or we can even get rid of the jugging.
I don't think the jugging matters too much. Like,
I just know you like your teeth, and you've been curb stomped by the world, so to say.
Not exactly, but it's just such a horrific thing. I could probably do it, but would I do it? Would I compromise myself for it?
3 wishes. You could use one of those wishes to not compromise yourself.
But I have, haven't I?
But you haven't with the wish. These are like true wishes.
But I would have 2 wishes, so I would know that I did it.
And this is how I felt with the ice cream thing, with getting that money. Like this sort of like slimy feeling inside.
But why am I even debating it? It should be obviously like no. But
how many people do you think would say yes?
Well, maybe everyone. I don't know. Kant wouldn't. Maybe should.
No, Kant would, because he can reason that through his wishes he can change reality.
But he has done it, so...
But he can use a wish to make it so he didn't do it and still have the other 2 wishes.
But he has 2 wishes, so he did do it.
No, he didn't. He just has 2 wishes out of nowhere. You can cause paradox with this thing.
Yeah, but he did it, didn't he?
But he didn't through the wishes.
But it's not acceptable under any circumstances. There's not like if you can go back in time.
You can use a wish to make it acceptable under any
So would
circumstance.
you have a maxim be, someone may curb stomp me if they go back in time and make it so it never happened?
Yep.
As long as...
I don't remember it. And
But it happened to you.
It happens to me, but it was just a nightmare. Time travelers have mercy.
Ugh! I don't think so. I don't think Kant would stand for it. And you're using a person as a means to an end.
Yeah.
Except then you're getting rid of it with a wish. But
Yes, exactly.
But I don't think that
these
counts.
these are wishes. It does count if you use the wishes.
But you've still compromised yourself. You have to use the wish before you do the action.
What's the minimum thing you'd be willing to do that would for compromising yourself for a wish?
The maximum thing? You mean?
Yeah. Because clearly curb stomp seems to be above your limit.
Well,
So maybe what about kicking them in the groin really hard? As a guy.
Yeah, sure, whatever. But
And okay, what like shanking them?
see, here's the thing.
All right. What about making their bones splinter?
Ugh.
What about like
Taking a plier and putting their tooth in and squeezing until their teeth shatters.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay. Enough of horrible things you can do, people.
But speaking of torture, right?
Yeah.
I imagine it would work quite well on me. I think that torture doesn't work thing is nonsense.
Tweak his nose.
Like, you could just describe stuff and I'd be like,
Yeah.
But then,
you're making me think of that Archie
game
comic.
theory-wise, you have to follow through and not torture me if I do tell you the truth, because otherwise I have no reason to tell you the truth if you ask me another question.
Yeah. But you will.
No, I won't, because game theory-wise, I can't. And which is why, never forgive a Campbell. Never give a torture information if they betray you.
Never work with evil Corp.
And don't push Hitler off a balcony. No, wait, do save Hitler.
Yeah. And never work with... See, this is why time travelers who try to assassinate him, it doesn't work.
He's got wishes.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
You could assassinate him now, or...
So, you would cut off a guy's limbs, but you wouldn't curb stomp a random person.
Well, if they're growing back...
Yeah, well, they grow back for a person who has...
Okay, well, here's the thing. Like, if the guy was willing, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
So between consenting adults...
Yeah, if a guy said you can curb stomp me for your wishes, and I won't remember, that maybe. But because...
You have to torture me for a week and you get wishes.
If I was... See, in a fighting situation, I might do it anyways. But in cold blood, it's a different story, right?
Yes.
And thing is, I have jumped off a cliff, which
Yeah.
I believe means I can do anything.
Yeah.
And by that, I don't mean I'm like amazing, capable of anything. I mean, I have shut down every single
Reasonable thing in your brain.
in my brain, and jumped off a cliff.
Well, you had one reasonable thing going, which was, I'm doing this for my little bro.
Yeah, which was a terrible reason.
What that?
And I think that if you can shut off all the reasoning parts of your... I think you can do anything. Like, I think if you're capable of doing that, you can go into like cold psychopathic killing mode. But once you stop, and once you start, if you stop, it might destroy you. So I think it's very possible for me to do. But I don't know if I should start.
It's interesting you're saying going to cold mode. When we dissected frogs in our biology class,
Yeah.
I felt that was morally wrong, dissecting frogs.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm shutting myself down.
Yeah,
And I shut myself down to dissect the frogs.
Yeah.
When I turned myself back on, I almost threw up.
Yeah.
I left the classroom, I was in tears. I was in grade 11, and I was in tears leaving this classroom like, why did I do that?
See, I've
felt horrible about it ever since.
I have this thing where people think I'm not ticklish, but it's not actually true.
It's just game theory.
I just have incredible control over that.
And so you're game theorying it.
So I can go... Well, I used to have incredible control over not being ticklish.
Yeah.
I'm no longer ticklish.
Mm.
Because I went into that dark place too many times. And now I don't have any reaction to tickles.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think if I went into that dark place to stomp on someone's face enough times,
Probably actually how people get to that point.
I would never be ticklish.
It-
I mean, I could do it without feeling anything.
It's probably how people get to that point. Like
This-
they're really nasty mafiosos, how they can
Yeah.
get to the point of being brutal and torturers.
Yeah, imagine.
Like, I bet a medieval torturer, to become a medieval torturer, besides maybe it being like your family tradition, because executioners were a lot of times executioners, maybe they were that messed up kid who hurt other kids and did nasty things to butterflies and did nasty things to kittens.
No.
And so it's just the progression. They've already done those things.
I believe, actually, they would be people that didn't want to torture, but they were so devout to their king or their god that they did it until they lost feeling about it. And then it would be like doing like a police job where you have to investigate a homicide and there's a body there and it's horrible.
Yeah.
And the rookie throws up.
Yeah.
But you're...
Rookies.
So you would be like, there'd be like the old executioner, like, rookies, because this isn't a bad thing to torture. You're doing a good service to your king and your country.
Yeah. What about this do you think there's people in... I guess, yeah, there's outliers in all cases. There's always outliers.
Yeah.
We're talking about, these are people...
Ordinary people.
Yeah, ordinary people, how they get to the point of doing these things.
Descending.
Everyone just has a bad day.
Yeah.
Everyone just has a bad day, Batman. Sometimes a bad thing happens and it's out of someone's control.
Yeah, and so he descended into absurdism, where...
Yeah.
I think it's called absurdism, where he thinks nothing... See, you can do this. This is how you turn off your brain very easily. You think nothing matters. Okay, so you have two choices. You become a nihilist because nothing matters, or you do whatever you want
That's it.
because
Radical
nothing
freedom.
matters. No, this is different than radical freedom. This is terrifying. You do anything you want. Like, you're talking to a person, there's no reason why you can't just punch him in the face.
Ow!
I didn't. But
You're just saying that because you can do whatever you want. He's not able to stop. Ah! He's picking up the scissors!
so if nothing matters, you can do whatever you want. You can kick cars, you can punch walls, you can steal. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your friends die in the process. It doesn't matter if you die, because nothing matters. So if nothing matters, why be a nihilist? Like, why just give up on the world? Why not instead just have fun?
So true.
So that's Joker.
So true nihilists become absurdists?
Well, they can. You can go absurdist or you can go nihilist, I think. And one is a terrifying person to deal with because nothing matters. You can't stop, well, you can kill them, but they don't care.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to do, actually, if you think about it.
But if you kill them, then you have your own problems.
Another way to use this is if you think, oh, nothing matters and you're a nihilistic person out there and you're single, just ask someone out because it doesn't matter if they reject you.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. So you can improve your life using this. Or you can
Go
be
insane.
a terrifying monster like Joker.
Yeah.
And it's actually a logical response because if everyone acted this way, then we would just be a bunch of people on GTA.
Yeah. So,
But Kant's argument may defeat that. I'm not sure. GTA versus Kant, I'm not sure.
So, Joker, does he gather insane the people? Like, Joker sees himself as very logical. He sees himself as the only logical person in the world.
Yeah, in some ways I would agree with him.
Like-
Although Kant might defeat that, I'm trying to
So,
decide.
from Joker's point of view, though, he's the only logical person.
Yeah.
Do you think his minions share his views, or they're just insane and he's using them?
Oh, I think Harley Quinn just is in love with him, so he'll do whatever he says, even if she doesn't understand him. And I think the other guys are just along it for the kicks, like they're sort of what's it called? It's like
Schadenfreude?
no. There's a kind of
You want to be there for the ride?
no. It's a mental condition that's more common in men than women, and it's sort of like a psychopath. But psychopaths aren't actually recognized by the Diagnostical Statistics Manual. It's not actually a real condition by that definition, but there is psychologists lobbying for it to be one.
Yeah.
But there is, and this is most people in prison are, they don't consider consequences or other people as mattering that much.
Most people are in prison for hard crimes.
Are very violent, like personalities that don't consider other people. So I imagine Joker's people are those kind of people who they're just along for the laughs, kind of thing.
And Joker can get them the most laughs.
Yeah,
Even if he's a little scary.
Yeah, but you can he gets you money. He's powerful. He's a good authority figure. So I imagine they're like that. Yeah, I don't.
You're right though about Joker being terrifying. Like that whole thing. The was it the
Killing Joke?
yeah the Killing Joke
Yeah.
about his it explains his view of nothing
Yeah.
matters. So do whatever you want.
Yeah. Except he doesn't fully believe his view in the Killing Joke either. He's trying to prove to others that his
Yeah.
view is correct, but he doesn't actually.
Yeah, no, it's multiple times expressed that he doesn't believe his view.
And the ending may or may not show that he was right, depending on interpretation.
Yeah, but
Which is interesting.
yeah, a lot of times Joker is portrayed about caring about things.
Yeah.
And a lot of times he isn't. He's a bit of a wild card. But maybe that's just what he wanted to do in the moment because nothing matters.
Yeah.
So you can't even ascribe that because he has saved Batman. And he, in one series, in one string of comics, I mean, the writers change.
Yeah.
But Batman dies, and Joker is sad, and so he goes after the person who killed Batman.
Yeah.
And turns out Batman's not actually dead.
Yeah, so Joker obviously has feelings in that sort of like.
Yeah,
cares
so
about stuff.
Batman does matter
Yeah.
to him.
So he doesn't actually fully subscribe to his own.
Yeah, because
Which I think nihilists often do. Like one thing you can have fun if you have a friend out there who says he's a nihilist or she's a nihilist, you just pinch him, and then you just don't let go until they say the pain matters. If they don't react, then you might want to seek help for them, I guess. Cause,
and if they do react, they might no longer be your friend. Because even if you're being logical and reasonable, people can see that as you being a smart aleck or an annoying git, and that might really piss them off.
well, nihilists shouldn't get pissed off though, because nothing matters. So why would they get so worked up about something? Oh wait, they are worked about something, so stuff does matter.
Yeah, but they're
Cured them.
Yeah, but you're being a smart aleck, and so that's annoying them.
Well, I think that people shouldn't take on the title of nihilist so easily. There's this very proud. I don't know if it's on Facebook for me, anyways. There's this culture of proud nihilism.
We've talked about this, I think.
Yes, in our first one, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's still going. It's
Yeah.
been like 4 months, and I still get these posts on Facebook. Why aren't people listening? You got to change.
Yes.
Yeah. We should make supper now.
Yeah, wrap up there.
Yep. So, yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Write about it in the comments on this page.
Oh.
Anyways, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.